Now, Eyewitness Sports.
Welcome to WPRI OOT. I'm Mark Dondero. In studio, Yanni Caracas is in Bloomington, Minnesota at the Mall of America as we do one of those OOTs on the road. Yanni and I enjoy it very much. All right, Yanni, I'll ask questions today. Let me start with this one. Tom Brady, Bill Belichick going to an 8th Super Bowl, preparing for Sunday's showdown with the Eagles. Will this be their final Super Bowl together, their final trip to the Super Bowl together? Tom Brady, Bill Belichick.
Absolutely not. The Patriots will at least get to one more in the next year or two or three. I think the insinuation from the ESPN article that the tension would come to a head is probably overblown. As Tom Brady has said, he has all the answers to the questions. Both of them have it too good right now as the best coach and quarterback in the league. So why not keep this train rolling? If they get a 6th on Sunday, Mark, why not just put their legacy so far and away beyond all their contemporaries that it's not even a discussion? So I think they're going to ride this out, and we've seen who in the AFC really worries you. Pittsburgh has all the talent in the world. Their coach doesn't know what to do. Jacksonville is on the up and up. They have no quarterback. Who else is in the mix? You know, Tennessee, they don't worry me. Indy may get better, but I don't think the AFC is strong enough that I think the Pats get here at least one more time, and then you like their shot in the big game, even if it's a 50-50 proposition. So I'll say at least one more after this year. Do you think they get back and win another? Is this it?
Well, let me start with this. If we're not live here, so if anybody comes and messes with you, Yanni, you deck them. You deck them right on TV, okay? We'll put it online. It'll be great. As far as this question goes, is this their final Super Bowl? They will get to another Super Bowl. As far as the tension goes, I don't think the tension will play a factor or play a role. I think it was just tension and not dysfunction, as we've heard Robert Kraft allude to in some recent comments. So I think that won't play a role here. They're fine. They're adults. They'll hash out what they need to hash out, and everything will be okay going forward. As far as getting to a Super Bowl, sure, they can get to another Super Bowl. I think they'll get to another Super Bowl because they're going to continue to work together. Will they win another Super Bowl? And we don't know if they'll win Sunday. Will they win another Super Bowl beyond this season? I'm going to say no. I'm going to say no because of the fact that they're going to lose those coordinators. And we recall, now Brady is more advanced from an offensive perspective, obviously. But we recall after 05 when they beat the Eagles the first time, they had the big huddle there, Bill, Charlie, and Romeo. They lost Romeo, they lost Charlie, and they could never win another Super Bowl for close to a decade until they beat the Seahawks. And that was it took Josh McDaniels a while to get that done. You know, of course, Tom Brady, everybody else involved in that, but it took them a while. I'm gonna say, despite Tom Brady's advanced age and having all the answers to the test, that is real. They'll get there. They'll always contend. But as far as winning another Super Bowl, I don't think they do it again. So enjoy this one. They will get to another one, though, I think, because, like you said, the AFC, weaker. They'll be able to get to another Super Bowl. Right. I just don't think they're going to win another one. Okay. So today, I believe it was today, maybe it was yesterday, Jonathan Kraft on the Not Done Network, the Patriots in-house network for Super Bowl week, said that the Krafts and the organization has decided that Tom Brady can basically choose when he wants to retire. That they're not going to push him out, that he has earned the right to be able to do that. It's a personal decision. Do you believe them? I'll start. I do not believe them. If Tom Brady begins to play poorly, and it's obvious he's breaking down physically, and it's obvious that his game has dropped off significantly, if you want to use the word cliff, fine, then you have to reevaluate. This is a business at the end of the day. The Krafts know that, both of them. Bill Belichick certainly knows that. If Tom Brady, erodes rapidly, no, he's not going to just be, and if he's stubborn about moving on, now he says, and he said before, when I suck, I'll call it a career. But if he gets stubborn, you don't know how he's going to handle that situation when he does start to play, more poorly than we've seen him play recently and over the course of his entire career. We don't know how he's going to handle that. So I don't believe them. That's what you say right now because of where we are. You're not going to say, well, I have a close eye on Tom, and the second I see some erosion, we're going to really step in and really put him under the microscope. You wouldn't say that. You say what you said right there on the Not Done Network, but that's not the case. you have to monitor things. That's what it means to be a good owner, and that's what they'll do.
They're going to have to massage the PR aspect of it, right? So even if they sort of nudge Brady, or Belichick does, hey, Tom, you know, you're not the player you were, they'll present it to the public as Tom Brady is retiring. It'll never get out, or hopefully, for their sake, it doesn't, that he was pushed out. You hope that Tom Brady has enough self-awareness that he retires while he's still playing well. You don't want to see him, like people say, Willie Mays with the New York Mets, looking like a shell of himself at an advanced stage. So, but how do these things end? They never end great. It didn't end well with Brett Favre. It didn't end well with Joe Montana. So it ended well with John Elway. Can you do that? Can you kind of predict the year you're going to go out? And you hope you go out on top. But John Elway was still playing at a high level when he retired. Obviously, he had Terrell Davis. So I think for it to go smoothly, you almost have to declare ahead of time when it ends. Because for Tom Brady's sake and the Patriots, you hope it's when he's still playing well and it's not one of those mid-season things where he gets pulled for the backup. So I don't believe it, if that's the answer to to answer your question, that he'll get to do it on his own. But I think from a PR perspective, they will put it out there as Tom Brady is retiring it on his own.
You know, I wonder if it'd be worth Bill Belichick going to Tom Brady in advance, way in advance, this offseason, and just opening a dialogue about the end of Tom's career. Not pushing him out the door, not trying to convince him to hang it up or anything like that, just opening a dialogue so it's not awkward. So it's not. When do you think, Tom? What are you thinking? How long do you want to play? I'd love to have. He said on Thursday, I'd rather have nobody else as my quarterback. Why not open a dialogue and see where it goes and just, you know, get it all out there?
And I think I was there in the press conference when the question was from an Argentinian reporter who said, can you compare Brady to Messi, and is he the greatest ever? And you know Belichick hates legacy questions at the Super Bowl. So while I believe he thinks that, he doesn't. I don't think he loves saying that, but he almost has to do it for a PR perspective. Yeah, I'd rather have anyone better than, or rather not have anyone than Tom Brady. But, you know, Tom Brady said something yesterday, and it rings true. Why does everyone want him to retire? If you didn't know what his age was, like, let's say he was one of those Little League baseball players, you didn't know the birth certificate, right? If you didn't know how old he was, would everyone be pushing this guy? How many? When you just look at his play, if you didn't know his age, why would we be talking about the end, you know? I mean, Father Time is undefeated, but if you just think about his play, there's no reason to believe in a year or two that it's going to fall off that dramatically.
Yeah, the last thing I'll say on this is everybody's just so fascinated as to what the end of the movie will be. We've talked about it. We've watched movies before where the movie itself was good and then the ending was bad and it sort of soured the entire movie. So you want to see, he's had such a great career, a historic career. Does the ending sour the career a little bit? For the Patriots, for their fans, for Tom. Yeah. That's what's kind of intriguing here. We'll have to wait and see. But if he comes through at the end of his career like he does at the end of a lot of games, I'm going to bet that it ends okay for TB12. Okay, so we're in the midst of this, this documentary orgy here. Tom versus Time, or the Two Bills. Now, we haven't seen everything, we haven't watched everything because there's still Tom versus Time episodes to go, the Two Bills, but we've seen enough previews, some of the episodes. So the question is, if you could only watch one of those documentaries, which one would you choose?
I'm choosing the Two Bills because much of the Tom Brady stuff we see, hear, and live in real time. We knew he was in Montana with Edelman and Amendola running routes and going on four-wheelers because we saw it on all their social media platforms. As you've said previously, we're fascinated by what does Brady's house look like? What's his interactions with his family? Wow, he's a regular guy. Look at what gate does he drive in Gillette? Oh, that's where we drive in. Oh, he parks right there in front of the building. We're fascinated by that stuff. But the Bill Belichick, Bill Parcells thing is so fascinating because Bill Parcells, at the time, 2 Super Bowl wins, was considered one of the best coaches of all time. And then his pupil, not as outgoing, not as media friendly, kind of socially awkward genius of Bill Belichick, doesn't do what he was supposed to do in Cleveland, then goes back to be a coordinator under Bill for the Jets and the Patriots. And then in 2000, when he's supposed to take over for Parcells, nah, screw the Jets, I'm going to New England, and then becomes the greatest coach of all time. So I think the dynamic is absolutely fascinating that the pupil ended up succeeding the mentor in terms of success. And if you're Belichick, you do this documentary, right? Because it's like, hey, the old boss, well, I have 5 and he has 2. Parcells, I don't know if he says, well, Bill knows everything about coaching from me and that's why he did it, but there's more upside in Belichick doing this than Parcells. And I think for football geeks like you and me, we like seeing the old video, the interactions, and it's fascinating to see Bill Belichick answer to someone when we've seen him for so many years in New England call all the shots on his own.
Okay, excellent answer. I agree with you 100%. Well said. The answer I have also is the 2 Bills, and I love the Tom versus Time documentary. I love it. But the 2 Bills is the answer. Like you said, we knew about, now it's great to see it all come to life and see it before your very eyes, but we knew basically everything about what we're seeing in Tom versus Time. We knew it. Still love it, but we knew it. The 2 Bills. I just want to see them sit next to each other. I want to see, like you said, the old clips. I want to unearth anything in that documentary that we didn't know. And there's a better chance that we didn't know stuff in the 2 Bills than we did in Tom versus Time. So I want to see all of that unfold. Watching Bill Parcells and Bill Belichick be near each other is fascinating to me because it seems like to me that Bill Parcells is really one of the few, if not the only person in the world that can make Bill Belichick look like an insignificant little speck. You know, he's just such a presence. And even with Bill Belichick sitting next to him, they were both gruff with the media over the course of their careers. Both historic at press conferences, both historic coaches, winners, you know, just titans in the game of football. I want to see it. I want to see their dynamic. I want to hear some of the tidbits that I didn't know about. The football things, like you said, the little intricacies of the game and the game planning and the in-game adjustments that we've never heard. I can't wait to hear and see all of that unfold. I love seeing Tom with his family and, you know, like you said, driving and the stuff that he does that actually makes him appear as a human being and he doesn't just float to the stadium on game days. But the 2 Bills is something that I need to see. I want to see. I hope it's revealing. And I want to see, do they have video of the 2000 press conference when he said, I am resigning as head coach of the, because we always see that clip, but we never see, do they ask questions? Is there more to it? Where is that video? I hope they have more of that video.
It's mysteriously not present on the internet.
Yeah, it's with the Spygate tapes. So I want to see that and just the dynamic. You know, if they were in jail, I feel like I could be in jail with the 2 Bills and be fine because you watch their interactions and you just laugh and you'd be interested. And I can't wait to see how that dynamic plays out. I can't wait to see the mannerisms, the facial expressions, body language. I'll be analyzing everything in that documentary and listening to hear about the things that I didn't know. And Bill probably overall a little more guarded, Bill Belichick, than Tom Brady. Personal life, personal things, personality. So I want to see all of that unfold in the 2 Bills. All right, now's the time, Yanni. We're going to predict the Super Bowl. Super Bowl 52, Eagles, Patriots. I'll go first. Listen, I am simply not going to pick Nick Foles to beat Tom Brady. I am simply not going to do that. Now, I will admit, look, there's a lot of things about the Eagles that impress me. Great defense. Now, they're 17th against the pass. That concerns me. You could argue they do resemble those giant teams that beat the Patriots. Strong defensive line, not as good in the secondary, but they get to Tom Brady, they cause all kinds of disruption, and all of a sudden that secondary looks very good. Doug Peterson, impressive. They lose their starting quarterback, they lose their starting linebacker, they lose their starting left tackle, and they still make a run to the Super Bowl. Impressive. That's coaching. That's Jim Harbaugh-esque, where he took this quarterback and that quarterback and every quarterback he has seemingly looks pretty good. Now, Jim Harbaugh in Michigan, different story. But when he went to the Niners, Alex Smith all of a sudden was great. And Colin Kaepernick, excellent. And then he leaves Kaepernick, not as excellent. Very impressive, Doug Peterson. We'll see. So I think this will be a close game. The Patriots always play close Super Bowls. Defense is good. They can make big plays. They are not going to run a high school offense like the Jaguars did. So I think the Eagles will compete. They'll be right there. But this is Brady. This is Belichick. I'm not going against them. I'm picking the Patriots. I'll go 31-27.
31-27. All right. And what do we know what the spread is right now? Is it 5?
You know what? I don't have the most
something?
updated, but I think it was around 5. Just operate as if it's 5.
All right. I'm going to say 27-20 Patriots. I think it's a close game. I think the Patriots stop the Eagles in the red zone as they've done so many other teams this season. I think the Patriots spread them out. They throw the ball through the air. As you mentioned, their secondary isn't great. They're great at run stuffing. So I think the Patriots spread them out. Brady dinks and dunks to the running backs, over the middle to Gronk. That'll be the bread and butter all day long. And mistake-free football. How often are the Patriots hurting themselves? I don't think we'll see a pick six like last year in the Super Bowl. So unless there's a fluky play, a pick six, a fumble return for a touchdown, a kickoff return, I think the Patriots are going to play sound enough football. Philly plays sound football, so it'll be close, but I think the Patriots hold them off. They win by a touchdown, 27-20. I think there'll be some tense moments in the fourth quarter. Maybe Philly's driving, trying to tie the game, but the Patriots get a stop, and I think they win, but I think it's going to be a close game. I think the Eagles are a worthy opponent, but as you mentioned, do you trust Nick Foles in a big spot? I don't, and if it's he versus Brady in the fourth quarter in game-winning drives, I'm going to pick Brady 10 times out of 10.
I can't do it. I can't go against that. Look, the Eagles' special teams also not excellent. You know, those things can loom large in a big game like this. And I just don't know. We've seen in the last 2 Super Bowls how the Patriots have leaned heavily on that running back catching the ball out of the backfield. If I'm the Eagles, I'm trying to take that away first and foremost maybe. But I don't know how they do it. With the linebacking core that they have, they don't have the speed that the Jacksonville linebackers had. That's a big reason why the running backs look like such garbage in the AFC Championship game. I think the running backs can make plays in the passing game. I think Deion Lewis, James White, Rex Burkhead will be huge, impactful players in this one. And yeah, I think the Patriots, I think they're going to do it again. And even if they don't do it again, there's no way I could pick Philly. I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to pick that combination. As much as I like Peterson and what he's done.
I haven't picked against the Patriots all year.
Yeah, you can't do that.
But you can't trust a coach and a visor either.
That's true. I'm not a big visor guy at all. Not at all. Okay, speaking of visors, speaking of where you can buy things, that has nothing to do, visors have nothing to do with that. You're in a mall, you've been in a mall all week. Let's go with this question here to wrap it up. What's your favorite mall store, Jan? You had to go to the mall, you got to go to one store. Which store are you going to?
I'm just hanging out at the food court, Mark. This is the best food court I've ever been to. There's probably 20 restaurants, one of each culinary option. There's Thai, there's Chinese,
now, don't
there's
give me
Japanese,
that crap.
there's
Which
Italian.
Which one you going to? One.
I'm going to go to, what's that place called, Italian Market upstairs? Oh, this great Italian marketplace. I haven't bought a single thing. I'm not going to Zara or The Gap or Aeropostale or Abercrombie & Fitch or Structure. What do you want me to do? You want me to go buy jeans? You want me to buy denim while I'm working 16-hour days? I haven't been into a single store.
I'm just talking about in general. What store do you want? Which store do you go to in the mall? The Italian market upstairs? What are you, Tony?
Can I go to Lids? How about Lids? Can
Fine.
I go to Lids?
Acceptable.
Right, I'm gonna pick Nort. I want the Seattle Mariners hat, the S from the 90s for Ken Griffey Jr. I want a Chicago Bulls hat from the Michael Jordan era. I want a Red Sox hat, the sock version, and I want a Pat the Patriot hat. How about that? What stores are you at the mall a fan of?
Brookstone. I don't know why this is so hard. Brookstone. You go to Brookstone, you sit in a chair, you let it vibrate on you, you get a little massage there, you got to think, they can touch your head, you know, they massage your head, they go like this, and they rub your head, it feels nice, it tingles. You go to Brookstone, they have adult toys, little things you can fly in the outdoors, you can test stuff. You might even find a gift there for a wife or for a significant other. You go to Brookstone, they have everything you need. You can kill time. Your wife, she goes shopping. You go in there, you look, you sit.
I'm not a big mall. I don't like the mall. Frankly, I don't like the mall.
What do you think? I like the mall? I don't like the mall. I don't go to the mall. And as a matter of fact, one time I was in and out of the mall in 6 minutes.
They're claustrophobic. The malls are claustrophobic. There's too many people. It's like a casino. Like, you don't know what time of the day it is. You don't know if it's sunlight or dark. It's soul crushing. I don't want to go back to a mall for the next 10 years after being in this mall all week long.
Yeah, you can't go back to another mall. I mean, you can't. Providence Place will make you puke after what you've been in this week. But okay, awful.
Did you like me and Ruthie's Facebook Live on the Ferris wheel?
I didn't see it. I didn't see that. You were actually on a Ferris wheel?
Yeah.
Like you went around and around?
On a Ferris wheel, we did Facebook Live. Don't you like that? Yeah, well, around and around. We were the only people on the Ferris wheel.
Well, somebody's getting the social star this month. Okay. Yanni Caracas joining us from Bloomington, Minnesota in the Mall of America here on Double OT. Yanni, thanks very much. We'll have this posted by the weekend. Thanks. We'll get everything up. We'll have predictions online and all of that. You can check this out at WPRI.com and, of course, on our Twitter handles, at Yanni Caracas, at Mark Dondero. Thanks for joining us. Enjoy the Super Bowl.